Good afternoon, everybody. Hope the week treated you extremely well. Earnings season well underway at this point in time. About a third of the S&P 500 actually reported earnings in this last week. And as we can see here from the New York Composite Index chart that we have on a weekly time frame, all stocks on the New York Stock Exchange subsequently making a technical breakout from a wedge that we have been building essentially since the sell-off in February. I'm going to take a look at each of the individual indexes that we've been talking about: the Nasdaq, the Dow, the Russell, and the S&P 500. Talk about some technical levels here in today's video. But before I get to that, real quickly, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm actually going to be out of town next week, so there's not going to be one of these videos. And one of the things I like to do at the end of the month, which would happen in the middle of next week, is take a look at monthly charts for the long-term picture of the market. So let's start with the S&P 500 here. Let me clear out all of the old drawings for us so we have a fresh and clean chart. We can see very clearly we are trading right at monthly resistance at this point in time. Our uptrend is clearly still intact. And so what we're looking for is that next push. And if I zoom in a little bit closer here onto a daily chart, you can see we are just about 1% away from making new all-time highs here on the S&P 500, which of course would be extremely bullish. When we take a look at the moving averages that we've got here, we have the 10, 20, and the 50. Those are the lines that are on here. The 10-month is over the 20-month, which is over the 50-month moving average, meaning we're in an uptrend. That's been very clear here for quite some time. The last period of consolidation that we had was back in 2014, 2015, and 2016. We traded sideways in this range here for quite some time before finally making the breakout. And this year so far has actually felt sort of like that consolidation, of course, nowhere near the time frame, 2.5 years or so. I've only been doing this for about 7 or 8 months at this point in time. But that is what this has felt like. This has felt like a consolidation in an uptrend. And when we get a consolidation, we look for where we came into that consolidation, whether we were coming from lower. And if that's the case, then we look for a higher probability breakout to the upside, which we subsequently got in 2017. Now we're getting that consolidation, and once again we've run up into that consolidation from a lower, meaning most likely the breakout subsequently will be to the upside, and that is what we are watching going into next month on the S&P 500. Now the Nasdaq, we talked about a couple weeks back. We had that same range that we talked about for back in 14, 15, and 16, and we had the breakout. And then we got our upside targets. We got 1, 2, and our third upside targets from using our fib extensions. And as you can see, what's awesome here this month, we actually broke above that second fib extension target, leading me to really look for that about 8,500 on the Nasdaq as that next upside target. Now, if I clear all these drawings off, we can very clearly see the 10 is over the 20, it's over the 50 moving average, so all the moving averages are aligned properly. We're clearly in an uptrend, and the Nasdaq has actually been the leader, actually broke out of its ascending triangle essentially at the beginning portion of last month, and has made some nice follow through to the upside. So extremely bullish action over there, and that continues to act very strong. Now we'll take a look at the Russell 2000. Russell has been a lagger over the last few years, not nearly the same size run up. So if we look from the election, the Russell's up about 30%. And on the flip side, when we take a look at the Nasdaq, we're up almost 60%. So a big time lagger, but as of late, it has become a leader. And we actually dedicated one of the videos to that, where we had the breakout going all the way back into May, where we got that nice breakout, a little back test, and now we're back right up top. So this is a shorter term consolidation that we've seen over the last 2 months. When we look at this in on a monthly chart, all right, we have a clear breakout, and we are continuing to hold, and it looks like we want to continue to push higher. 10, 20, 50 moving averages all aligned properly, clearly in an uptrend, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for more follow through for the Russell here to the upside. Now, last but not least, actually in this particular case this year it has been the least, or the smallest gaining index, would be the Dow. Now the Dow, if I zoom in, I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit in on a daily chart so we can see this. Right, the S&P 500 essentially would be back up around here. Right, had just a little bit of we can see right there, just a tiny little bit to take out new highs. When we look at that same setup in on the Dow, it's got almost 5% to get back up to highs. So it's been lagging substantially in compared to the other indexes. When we look at this in on a monthly, we can see it's right at a very important level. If we continue to push up, I'm sorry, this is a weekly chart. If we continue to push up right here, we should make a run back up at those highs. And when we look at this in on a monthly chart, we actually, the 10 is over the 20, it's over the 50, so all of the moving averages are aligned properly. It held on to its uptrend line of support, and it is still trading kind of in a wedge. So we're still looking for it to make that next push. It's really the only one of the indexes that has yet to really make a next level push. We definitely have that out of the Nasdaq and the Russell, and it looks like we're going to get that here out of the S&P 500, maybe even in the next couple of sessions. So overall, when we take a further, a bigger picture look on the monthly charts, as we can see, all the major indexes are still in clean, clear uptrends. I like to take a look at these longer-term charts every month, because a lot of times when people are just looking at the daily charts, or if you're a more active trader, maybe you're looking at the hourly charts, you forget about the big picture. Smaller moves, little pieces of news can worry you about the overall long-term health, and you start thinking maybe I should get out of my positions, and maybe the market's going to crash. Or you're worried about, of course, with everything that we do in terms of technical analysis. If key levels get taken out to the downside, then we need to rethink our overall trading strategy. But for now, all of these indexes are clearly in long-term uptrends. A lot of them are looking at new fresh breakouts and potential legs higher, and there's really not a whole lot to be bearish at this time on the charts. I hope you guys have yourselves a fantastic weekend. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Take care.